Tune into the Salsa Kings Network. Crack one open if you dare, creeps.
I just don't understand why Alan would leave such a paper trail about our dealings. You think he was going to betray me? Oh, now that's a horrible thought. And now he's dead, I'll never have the chance to scold him.
Maybe this'll change your mood.
What is it?
Bombshell. The deputy mayor had wooden splinters in his wound. Struck right through the heart with a sharp, pointed object now. Word is, someone was fighting vampires not a block away from the scene. I mean, Smart Money says it was a Slayer did this job.
What, do you think he talked to them?
If he did, I'm thinking he said the wrong thing.
Wow. This is exciting. A Slayer up for murder one.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Buffy. We're just two boys watching every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer for the first time, giving our review, our reactions. We are your hosts. I'm Joe Welke.
I am Vance.
And today we're talking about Season 3, Episode 15, titled Consequences. Directed by Michael Gershman, written by Marty Noxon. Original air date February 16th, 1999 to an audience of 5.93 million people. And this one is dealing with the fallout from the last episode, Bad Girls.
Yeah, I mean, who would think that an episode called Consequences would deal with any fallout?
You know, usually they try to throw us a curveball and do a one-off before they answer what happens in the last episode. And we're like, wait, what happened? No one's going to talk about this, but this one, we got Bad Girls, and now we got the fallout from Bad Girls.
Consequences turns out to be like a party game that Willow and Xander are all playing, and Oz is really good at it, and you're like, what?
Yeah, man. But yeah, no, this is it's a good sequel episode from Bad Girls. But before we get into the episode, I'd like to remind everybody once again, we've got that Patreon up. Patreon.com/BoysWatchingBuffy, or the link is in the show notes for this episode. Also join our Discord. Links also in the show notes. And I've got some stand-up shows in the San Diego area. September 2nd, I'm at Bay Bridge Brewing in Chula Vista. I was having a rough time saying that. And that is at 8 on Friday night, and Saturday, September 3rd, I am at Twigs in San Diego, and that is also at 8. And these are free shows, no cover charge, nothing, just in there. A lot of them are BYOB too. So yeah, if you're in San Diego area,
bring your own Buffy.
Bring your own Buffy. Vance, you got a plug?
I do have a plug this week.
Yes.
The day after this podcast comes out, I did a guest spot on the Watch the First podcast for Falling Tower. You can see that on YouTube, Falling Tower. And we're talking about the first episode of I Am Groot.
Oh, that Marvel show on Disney Plus.
And it's if you haven't seen it, it's very short. You could probably watch all 5 of them in like 20 minutes. So you'll be impressed of how much real estate we get out of one episode. But no, it was a fun time. It was a good time. So check that out. That's Watch the First podcast on Falling Tower. You can see it on YouTube, and we'll be posting stuff on our Instagram and whatnot. So,
yeah. Oh, also, personal plug. Just follow me on Instagram at Joe Welke. And Vance is on Twitter at Is This Vance, right?
Is That Vance?
Is That Vance, damn it.
This is Vance is my Instagram.
There we go. Alrighty. Let's dig in here, Vance. Let's dig into some consequences.
Yes.
So the episode opens up with a recap of everything that happened last episode. And if you're just hopping in and you skip the Bad Girls episode, what are you doing? why would you do that? Because it was a great episode and a lot of stuff happened. But if you didn't, the recap, Faith murdered a guy. There's a new watcher named Wesley. Yeah. And the guy that Faith murdered is the deputy mayor. His name is Alan.
Apparently the most important person in Sunnydale.
Yeah. As we'll find out. So the episode actually opens up with Buffy underwater. She's drowning and Alan is underwater as well. And as Buffy's trying to swim to the surface, he grabs her leg and is pulling her down. And Buffy escapes his clutches and eventually gets to the surface to take a breath. And Faith is there waiting for her. And Faith just shoves her right back down under the water. And Buffy wakes up. It's obviously a dream. And Buffy is feeling very troubled. She walks downstairs. She's like, oh, man, I can't sleep. I got this murdered dude on my mind. I'm going to go downstairs, relax. She walks downstairs and Joyce is watching the news. And on the news, they found the body of Alan in Boston Harbor.
Yeah, like what? the Sunnydale Bay.
Yeah. Which is crazy because Sunnydale is pretty inland. Like Sunnydale's a real place in California and it is pretty inland, I think.
Yeah, they kind of treat it like it's sometimes San Francisco-esque, Bay Area or like Santa Monica. But not Santa Monica because of the weather and what. I don't know. It's just there's a lot of water that they can go to. It's like a coastal town.
Yeah, they make it seem like there's docks all over the place. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at a map of Sunnydale right now, and it is very landlocked. It is, it's kind of near a little bit of water. Yeah. Sunnydale looks like is actually kind of by San Francisco.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense then.
Unless there's another Sunnydale, but this looks like
once you have a hellmouth, it changes your terrain.
Yeah. But yes, so Joyce is watching the news and she's like, isn't this terrible, Buffy? Somebody murdered this deputy mayor. Whoever did that is a terrible person. And if you know anything about it, you must be a terrible person too. And
the thing that got me in this scene was a news report being like, this heinous murder, something we've never seen before in Sunnydale. I'm like, he's not even the most important person that has died recently.
Dude, like so many people die in Sunnydale.
I can't even, I'm drawing a blank because so many people have died, but I know someone higher up at a more important, more visible job has died. You know what I mean? Like, he's the deputy.
Think so. Who? The swim coach?
Every student at school.
They're expendable. Nobody cares about the students.
No one knows who the deputy mayor is.
That's what Sunnydale High is. It's a thinning of the herd.
Haven't we had other police chiefs? Has anybody died that has the principal was eaten? No one seemed to react to that.
Yeah, that's true. That wasn't on the news.
I guess Joyce wasn't watching it. It was an animal apparently ate a guy in school.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's been other murders that should have tipped the scales more than this one. Granted, this is the mayor's person.
Yeah,
he controls the news.
Mayor.
But people talked about it like we've never seen a dead body in Sunnydale.
Yeah. So Faith has not done as good a job as she thought she did with chucking this guy's body
it's
in
her
the
first
harbor.
Body, though. She'll get better.
Is it, though? Because it doesn't seem like it.
Maybe. Well, what Angel says later makes it seem like it's her first.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Buffy's feeling very conflicted. Her mom is like, oh, this is terrible. And Buffy's like, oh, God, this is eating me. The guilt. So we have the intro song and we come back from the intro song and it's Wesley in the library. And Wesley's just like, I want the Slayers to look into who murdered the deputy mayor.
What?
And Buffy very rightly is like, that's kind of outside our jurisdiction. Why would we do that? And Faith's like, no, let him look into it. No problem for me. I'm like, why would you fucking what?
Her looking into it is not like, it's not like she can hide more evidence. Like the cops are actually looking into it. Like,
yeah,
you would have to beat the cops to it.
Yeah,
and Giles is all for like, this is a human.
Yeah, he's like, this is murder. This isn't demonic. Yeah. But Wesley's like, how the fuck do you know it's not demonic? We got to look into it. And then Cordelia shows up to interrupt people. And she's like, sorry to interrupt everybody. It looks like you guys are talking about something important. Oh, hello. Who are you? You must be a new watcher. And Wesley's like, oh, hello. Who are you? You are a lovely, lovely human being, full-grown adult woman. And then
you're not doing it the justice of stammering and loss of speech that he has.
He turns full Giles.
Yeah, he goes Giles season 1.
Yeah. And Cordelia's like, I need a psychology book, Giles. And Giles goes to retrieve it. And Cordelia's like, so nice to meet you. What's your name? And he's like, my name is Wesley Wyndham Price. And Cordelia shakes his hand and she goes, ooh, I always like a man with 3 names.
2 first names.
2 first names or whatever.
2, yeah.
And
2 last names. 2 last names.
I think
2 first names. I think she says 2 first names. 2 first names.
But Wyndham isn't a first name, is it?
Price or Wesley and Price, I guess. Price could
I
be
think
a first
she
one?
says 3. I always like the man with 3 names.
I thought she said 2 first, but whatever. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't fucking matter.
We're so off the rails right now.
Yeah. So she's like, waiting for her psychology book. And Wesley is like, oh, it's always a pleasure to meet a lovely, dashing young woman like you. And wow, it's very impressive. You're beautiful. And you're also a psychology teacher. And Giles walks by in the background and he goes, she's a student. And then Wesley shrieks his hand back and he's like, oh, fuck. Mm-hmm. And their flirtation goes on after this.
Yep.
Cordelia is still like, wow, I'll be seeing you around, Mr. Wesley Wyndham Price. And he's like, oh, lovely. You're a lovely young woman. And then Faith's like, she's jail bait, dude.
It's
that was very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's a scene we don't need this long.
Yeah. Dude, there's a lot of very uncomfortable scenes in this episode.
Well, knowing what we know now that this actor is married to Allison Hannigan, it really throws everything into perspectives.
True. Maybe, I mean, Allison Hannigan was probably like 25. Well, Charisma Carpenter's definitely like 31.
When she walks in, she looks so much... She does not look like a student at all when Cordelia walks in. Like, she looks so much more mature than she has in even previous episodes. And is she the only one that checks out books in the library?
I guess so, dude. I've never seen any of it. But I did love that Wesley, at one point, he goes, she goes, are you the new watcher? And he goes, yes, I watch girls. Yeah. I mean, these specific girls. And I was like, hey, boys watching girls, man. We're a part of that.
It's really, I thought the best moment was when he looks back and he's like, oh, he's a new watcher. And he looks back at Buffy like, does everyone know about you?
Oh, yeah.
It was like, what was your, you don't have an excuse for being in the library are you just Giles's cousin that's visiting? Yeah. Like, who are you supposed to be? You're standing in the middle of a school during the day.
Yeah. Someone's going to ask questions. Yeah. Who is this other British guy?
Yeah.
He doesn't work here, does he? Is he like TA of the library?
Yeah. Come on, Snyder. Get on top of this.
Yeah, man. So once Cordelia walks away, he's very adamant. He's like, Giles is like, I don't think that we need to investigate this, if you ask me. And Wes is like, funny thing, I didn't ask you. You're not the watcher. I'm telling Buffy and Faith that they must go investigate this. And so Buffy and Faith are like, all right. They walk out of the classroom, or they walk out of the library. Then they walk into an empty classroom, close the doors, and Faith turns to Buffy and goes, so what? You gonna rat me out? And Buffy's like, I mean, I'm kind of thinking about it. But no, Buffy's like, we can't just hide this forever. Someone's going to find out what we did. We have to tell him. I can't really, we can't not do this. And Faith's like, oh, so, and this was a great point, I felt. Faith is like, so you can hide and protect your boyfriend Angel when he comes back to life and he's a murderer, but you're going to rat me out? And Buffy's like, that's different.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point to bring up. It's not a one-to-one, in my opinion, but yeah.
Yeah. But Buffy really can't live with this on her conscience. And she says that she protected Angel and she's trying to protect Faith by not telling Giles or telling the police or something. And Faith's like, no, you're not trying to protect me. And if you tell them, guess what, dude? You're an accomplice in this. You were right there with me. You saw me murder the guy. You didn't say shit. You ran like I did. So you're in this with me and we're in this for the long haul. And then she dips and Buffy's like, fuck.
Faith is so bad.
Yeah, dude. She really, really has quite the heel turn here.
Yeah.
So Buffy is walking around and she's feeling real shitty about herself. And she's, this is weighing heavy on her mind. And she sees Willow sitting in the school. And
Willow is also dressed like Chucky or a My Buddy doll. I just have to say that. It is.
She absolutely is.
She's
got a little red sweater and overalls.
Yeah, I'm like, what is it? I'm like, no way.
But she's sitting there and she's, got her nose in a book and Buffy's like, hey, what's up, Willow? And Willow looks like, oh, hey, what's up, Buffy? You sure you want to be talking to me? Like, aren't you, don't you want to be hanging out with your best friend, Faith? And it looks awkward as fuck. And Buffy's like, no, I'm just, having a rough time. And Willow's like, well, I gotta go. I'm meeting up with that goth kid, Michael, and we're still trying to figure out how to change Amy back from being a rat, which I love.
Yeah.
And I gotta go. And then Buffy's like, oh, okay. And Willow's like, all right, see ya, dude. There's a little bit of passive aggressive. Mm-hmm. We're not as close of friends anymore. Shit going on between Buffy and Willow there. And then we go to the scene of the crime, the scene of the murder, where Alan was slain. And there's cops investigating it. There's blood everywhere.
I love they found the body and then somehow found the scene of the murder.
Yeah.
Like, his body's in the ocean. And they're like, let's go check the alley. Like,
yeah.
The detective work is amazing here.
And dude, I didn't realize, I mean, it's obvious now, but actually it's not obvious. Unless Faith stabbed through Alan, there's all kinds of blood all over this dumpster where he was killed. And I don't think that she stabbed through him.
Yeah, it would have been pulled on the ground. It would not have been like streaked down it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because Alan hit his back against the dumpster and crumpled to the ground. But there's blood all over this dumpster. Yeah. And we swoop past the dumpster and there's a cop talking to a witness. A witness was there. She heard a bunch of clatter and she rose from her bed to see what was the matter. And it was not Santa Claus. Yeah. Come on. Vance.
Nope.
Don't no-sell me.
No sell.
And then we swoop past that lady who is giving her statement to the police. And we see Angel lurking in the shadows. And he's looking and he's like, what the hell is going on here? This is suspicious.
He's so close too.
Yeah.
And this is the moment where I went, oh, this is the audition for the Angel show.
Yeah.
This is it.
Detective Angel.
He's a detective angel. This is it. He's going to stand next to the crime scene and go like, what monster killed it?
So as he's looking at this, although he remembers that he saw Buffy in the alley and she had blood all over her hands, and he was like,
yeah,
is this connected?
I really thought they were going to show like her hopping over the thing and the blood on the like posts when she jumped over the fence, because that was so clear. But it's fine. They just showed her hand and the blood on it.
Yeah,
and I'm sure
thought they were going to do that too.
He's a vampire and they have like blood smell. Like, can he tell the two different smells of blood? Like, I'm pretty sure he can.
Like, if he can tell it's like the same blood based on the smell.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. That'd be an interesting little
I mean, they can tell when people are bleeding and shit.
Well, he can smell the sunrise, too. Remember that?
It smells like bacon.
Yeah. He's going to be sizzling if it touches him, man. I was thinking about last episode when he looked at Buffy's hand and she's just got blood all over it. I would have loved it if Angel was like, can I lick that really quick? Let me get that off your hands.
That would have been the most erotic scene.
Yeah. But yeah, Angel's sitting there and he's putting 2 and 2 together and he's like, something's up here. Something's going on here. So then we go to City Hall and the mayor is shredding documents that have to do with he and Alan and their nefarious deeds. Mm-hmm. And he's talking to Mr. Trick, who's there, and he's like, this is not making me happy. Usually shredding documents gives me the glees, and it's not making me happy. And Mr. Trick is there, and he's like, why was Alan in that alley? Do you think that he was kind of betraying us? Is he a traitor? And the mayor's like, well, now I'm really unhappy. I thought that Alan was very trustworthy, and now I'm questioning Alan's trust, and I don't know what the hell to think about.
That is what I brought up last week.
Yeah.
I was like, in the last episode, I was wondering, what is he doing in that alley? And now they're shredding docs. I'm like, it's the only reason he would be there. Because they kind of tease, oh, did you let this vampire in to kill me? That one time.
Yeah.
So it seems like Alan might have been trying to take down the mayor before he became invincible. But
maybe Alan was in a power grab, little coup d'etat, trying to become the mayor himself.
I don't think deputy mayors become mayors if the mayor dies.
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know how small time politics work like that.
Do you know how big time politics work?
Yeah, if the president dies, the vice president's the president.
All right. I thought you just meant small. You mean only the executive branch? You don't know any other branches. And
then if the vice president dies, then I think it's the leader of the House, Speaker of the House, is the president, or is it the? Yeah,
but you don't know. But you don't know governors, senators, how that all works.
Yeah, no, that's a bunch of small time, bullshit politics. Who needs to know that crap?
The ones that have all the power.
Yeah, the ones that actually affect your life. Yeah. But yeah, so Mr. Trick is like, well, I've got some good news. Throws a envelope on the mayor's desk and he's like, well, the police have been investigating Alan's murder and they found wooden splinters in the stab wound.
Oh my God, yeah.
So I think this might be the work of the Slayers. And I think we should probably have a plan to take out the Slayers. And the mayor's like, well, this has turned my mood around quite a bit, actually. This is great news. I'm very happy to know this. Now we have a plan of attack. Let's try and kill the Slayers.
No, here he says we can charge him for murder 1.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. He's going straight law with the Slayers.
Which I was like, yeah, arrest them right now.
But
I'm sure if you look in their room, they're going to have a wooden stake.
Absolutely.
And you could just test the wood.
But here's the thing. How the hell would those wooden splinters have stayed inside of him? Do you think that that's feasible? Inside of Alan?
Splinters are splinters because they're inside of you. What are you talking about?
No, but I'm saying, how could they have stayed after he's probably been dragged across town and thrown into the drink?
I don't know. People have splinters in them that stuck in forever. It's in his
That's
heart.
Crazy.
It's
dude.
in his heart. It's a splinter in his heart muscle. I'm pretty sure, him being in the water for 30 minutes wasn't enough. He floated to the top pretty quick. It's the next night.
Faith is so bad at hiding a body.
I think most people are.
No, dude. You tie a kettlebell around him and then...
A kettlebell?
Yeah, where you get a kettlebell.
How heavy is your kettlebell?
I got a 45-pounder.
I don't know.
I think that's enough to take a guy down.
How's your knot tying?
Not very good.
Yeah, there you go.
That's where it goes wrong for Joey boy. Yep. But after that, the mayor's happy. He's like, all right, now we understand. Let's figure this out. We can charge the Slayers for murder. But instead, now the Slayers, Faith and Buffy, they break into City Hall and they're doing investigating themselves. Why? No clue.
Like, this plan, they're supposed to investigate who killed him. But then it seems like they're just looking up. It seems so crazy that you would actually put yourself in City Hall.
Yeah.
And we later find out there's cameras there. But,
Dude,
but
yes.
why would they not assume that you're breaking into City Hall?
Yeah, why aren't there security guards there? Also, why wouldn't you just sit on your hands and say that you went to City Hall and then come back like, no, we couldn't find anything? You know who murdered. Why are you doing this investigation?
Yeah.
They like go into Alan's office to be like, let's see how clean this guy is. Like, who gives a fuck?
But it's like, I was like, oh, great. We're going to make it so that he's kind of dirty. So like Faith gets a little like, oh, see, I killed somebody, but he was a bad guy kind of pass. But they don't really do that.
Well, Faith tries to make that argument because they're snooping around and all of the documents were shredded because that's what the mayor did in the last scene. And Faith is like, I bet this guy was dealing with some shady stuff anyway. I probably did the world a favor. And then she kind of has some slight remorse when she sees like a picture of him with the mayor. And she's kind of like, ah. And then she immediately goes back to like, nope, I did it. And Buffy talks and she's like, I don't know. Why was Alan in that alley anyway? Maybe he was looking for us. Maybe he was trying to help. Maybe he knew something about the vampires. And then they're like, all right, well, maybe that's a thing, but we got to get out of here. Mm-hmm. So they open the door and then they see Mr. Trick and the mayor leaving their office. So who is monitoring these security cameras?
I think they just might be running.
Just recording?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Because the mayor and Trick are there while Buffy and Faith are there.
I'm sure Mr. Trick doesn't want some guy seeing him with a vampire on the cameras.
Yeah.
Unless he's controlling the person. Unless he's got the person controlling the cameras to work for him.
Vampires are the ones that don't have a reflection, right?
Yeah, they really shouldn't be able to be filmed, but yeah.
Okay, yeah.
They can.
But Buffy and Faith see Mr. Trick and the mayor buddy, and they're like, oh, Faith's like, oh, I fucking told you. There we go. I'm off the hook. They're bad guys. And Buffy's like, damn it.
Yeah. At first I was like, when did they meet Mr. Trick? And I was like, oh yeah, Buffy fought him or pre-fought him once.
Yeah. So then Faith and Buffy, after they hide from Mr. Trick and the mayor for a little bit, they go walking around the city. And Faith's like, I knew it. I knew the mayor was a bad guy. This exonerates me. I'm off the hook. And Buffy's like, no, you're not, dude. You fucking killed the guy. And Faith says something about like, oh, it looks like the mayor isn't all happy, smiles, happy-go-lucky. What a fake. What a phony. And Buffy's like, you would know a lot about that, huh? And Faith's like, what the hell is that supposed to mean?
I was like, you know what that means, Faith.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. But also, I was kind of like, I mean, Faith wasn't ever like, I would never murder someone. Like, Faith has been shady since the beginning.
Yes. But it's like having someone be shady and then seeing someone be shady.
Yeah.
In person. I don't think it's not so much that she murdered the guy. It's more that she doesn't feel any remorse for murdering the guy. Or at least she doesn't express remorse.
Yeah, and that's kind of what the crux of this scene is, where Buffy is like, dude, don't you feel guilty? Don't you feel remorse? Mm-hmm. And Faith is like, dude, over the course of our being Slayers, we've saved thousands and thousands of lives by killing these vampires. So what if one guy is collateral damage? Shit happens. I think the benefits of us going out every night and slaying outweigh the loss of this one guy's life. And Buffy's like, well, why are you saying that? You're acting like you think that you're better than people. And Faith goes, I am better than people. We are better than people, Buffy. We are strong as fuck. We kill vampires. We have superhuman abilities. We're better than people.
It's the superhero X-Men logic, you know?
Yep. Magneto versus Xavier.
Yeah.
Buffy's all, we gotta save and protect people, and Faith is like, we're better than people. They should be thanking us. They should be worshiping us.
Yeah. In this scene, you've been bringing this up a lot. Faith says she's sorry multiple times in this scene.
Mm-hmm.
She says, I'm sorry that he died, but blah, blah, blah. Like, she actually does it. And I was like, that is interesting because you have not shown that remorse in any of the other scenes. And like, for some reason, she's saying she's sorry that it happened. And last episode ended with her saying, I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, it's not real, like a heartfelt apology.
Yeah.
But it is like more of an apology than we've seen in this entire series.
Yeah.
She just says like, look, I messed up. It was an accident. I'm sorry that guy died, but we got to keep moving on.
I do think if she would have said that immediately or at the end of last episode, then this episode would just be like, how do we cover it up? I'm afraid of getting in trouble, as opposed to like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, it's an interesting dynamic that they took.
Yeah. And yeah, the scene still kind of ends with Buffy being like, we're supposed to protect people. I still feel guilty. And Faith's like, sounds like a personal problem, dude. Adios. So Buffy comes home and the cops are there. And they're questioning her. And then we have like cuts with the same cop being at Faith's a motel room, and they're asking him questions like, hey, what time did you get home last night? Was that out till like 1:30 in the morning? It's like, what were you doing? I was hanging out with Faith. What were you watching? Faith says, we were watching an old movie. Buffy says we were watching infomercials. Why would that be the lie?
Buffy's so bad at lying.
It's so
like, they should
unreal.
be under arrest right now.
Yeah. Or what? At least one of them, whoever he talked to second, should be under arrest.
They should be brought down to the station for questioning.
Absolutely.
And they should see each other. Like, do that old cop trick where they see each other and put them in separate rooms, and then they bullshit and say the other person lied about it.
Yes.
Because Faith would just completely crumble in that situation.
Yeah, Faith would.
But she probably wouldn't.
Everybody.
She probably wouldn't even make it to the police station. though. She'd just kick the cop in the back of the head.
True.
Yeah.
But Faith and Buffy's stories are not aligned, which is very suspicious. And I can't believe that they didn't talk about this. I can't believe Faith didn't bring this up to be like, we need to get our story straight.
Yeah.
You know, that's classic gangster shit.
Well, also, I mean, later they get to a point where it's like, oh, we're never going to be able to try them. There's not enough evidence. I'm like, there's so much evidence. Also, you're a crooked mayor. Plant some evidence.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? That's the easiest way to get rid of them.
Yeah, that's what
Buffy already has like so many things on her record.
Yeah, I mean, she beat up cops.
Like, they think she killed Ted.
Yeah. But the cop is still there, and he's like, we got witnesses. We found splinters. It looks like the weapon would have been a wooden stake. You know anything about that? And they're both like, nope. And then the cop is like, well, if you figure out anything, and if you have anything to tell me, if you think of anything, here's my card, contact me. And Faith is just like, I don't plan on it, buddy. And Buffy's like, oh, okay, yeah. So the cop leaves Faith's apartment, and Angel's out there waiting. And he's lurking in the shadows again, being like, something's going on here. What's up?
Is this my spinoff? Do you know what this scene is missing? Because Buffy's mom is there when she's getting interrogated. But we never get the scene of Buffy and her mom after the cop leaves.
Yes, we need to have the scene where Buffy's mom is like, okay, what's the real fucking story?
Yeah,
there was a wooden stake. I know that you're a slayer.
Yeah, she's listening to the story and being like, and the mom started the episode. I think that there had to be a scene cut or something. Because the mom's like, oh my God, this is horrible. And this is a perfect, like, mom being like, my daughter's in real trouble situation.
Yeah, the cop leaves. Mom, arms fold, looking at Buffy with her head tilted like,
Infomercials?
So what's the real story? I know you weren't watching info-fucking-mercials
for 3 hours.
And if you were, wow, I've raised a lame daughter. wow. Watching QVC, did you buy anything? No.
Where's my credit card, Buffy?
Just watching OxyClean with Billy Mays. Get the fuck out of here. What actually happened?
Yeah, like the mom has to say something. She is there. She knows her daughter's lying.
But she can't, because then we don't have the rest of the episode.
I think she could still ask questions and you still have the rest of the episode.
Do you think that if she did ask questions, Buffy would have lied to her mom? And then her mom would have been like,
100%. 100%. She just lied to a cop. She just lied to a cop and 2 watchers. So, like, yeah. I think she'd lie to her mom. No teen has ever lied to their parents.
So Buffy's feeling guilty. Angel's at Faith's. And now we go to Willow's place, Chucky Willow. And she's sitting on her bed and she gets a little knock at her bedroom window door.
It's there. The window door's there.
Yep. And it's Buffy. And Buffy's wearing this horrible, horrible, horrible pink trench coat.
I couldn't even see past the Chucky wear.
It looks so silly, dude. Like the Chucky wear, I'm
like,
used to that from Willow at this
point. She's like Mario.
Yeah. She is like Mario.
I just can't take her serious. And she's given serious scenes to work with in that outfit. And I just can't. I can't take my eyes off.
The thing is, we've seen Willow in stupid, silly outfits before. Like we've seen her in these overalls, but with like a yellow shirt underneath. It's the red shirt that really makes it worse.
Because we've seen like so many things in pop culture that have that look.
Yeah. But Buffy shows up in the pink trench coat, and I was like, ugh, it's just got one button at the top. Hate it so much. And Buffy's like, you got some time to talk? And Willow's like, yeah, I mean, I guess so. I was just fucking sitting here doing nothing. Are you sure you want to talk to me? And Buffy's like, I gotta talk to somebody about something. And Willow's like, you know what? Before you tell me something, I need to let you know something. I've been letting this fester, and I'm sorry that I'm not a slayer and I can't do all the things that you and Faith do, but why are you excluding me from stuff? I've been included in everything up until this point, and now Faith's here, and it's like you're boxing me out. You're giving me the Zeppo treatment. I don't need that shit, man. I've been with you from day one. I'm your day one homie. And just because I can't kill people with my bare hands, and as she says that, Buffy goes,
She does my least favorite acting cry move.
Yeah.
It's where you cover your mouth right when you start to cry.
Yeah.
And it always just makes it look fake. And I've seen Buffy cry plenty of times on this show. I know she can do it. But it's just like when you do that like hand covering your mouth thing, it always reminds me of that Star Wars scene with Obi-Wan when he's like, he killed younglings. And he covers his mouth and he says, I'm like, there's no emotion behind that.
Well, I think what got me was like the shriek that Buffy just started her cry out with. And then it didn't continue. Like she didn't heave cry. She had one shrieky heave cry moment and then just was silent.
Yeah, it felt like she wasn't at the breakdown moment and they were like, hey, we got to get this scene. And you just have to like do that and cover it up. You know?
So she starts crying and Willow is like, oh my God, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get all hard. I'm being too harsh on you. I'm a bad person. I'm a bad girl. I'm a bad girl.
I was like, this scene is so rambling. Like, it's just Willow rambling. And then after Buffy cries a bit, unravels her whole like statement.
Yeah.
I was like, that's all it takes? Just Buffy can cry her way out of this?
Basically. And then Willow hugs Buffy and she's like, I fucked up. I did something wrong. And then she confesses to Willow everything that happened. And Willow's like, dude, that is fucked up. You should tell Giles, though, because Giles is going to know what to do. You got to tell Giles.
I love that that's the answer to you murdered someone. Tell the librarian watcher.
Yeah. Buffy also suspects that the cops know more than they're letting on. So she's like, we're fucked, dude.
Yeah, they showed up at your house because splinters were there.
Yeah.
So my question with the cops were this. Did the cops show up because they were witnesses and they saw 2 attractive teenage girls in the alley? Or did the mayor and Mr. Trick tip off the cops?
They had to have tipped off the cops because when the old lady's talking about what she witnessed, she just says that she heard a bunch of noise.
Yeah.
Unless we off screen see her say like, and there was 2 young teenage girls, but like, I don't remember her saying that.
And if it's 2 young teenage girls, it's like, they would be going to more than just those people, you know?
Yeah. And, so after Willow's like, you gotta tell Giles, dude, like this is getting out of hand. You need to tell our paternal figure.
Yeah.
And Buffy's like, you're right. So then Buffy walks into the library and Giles walks out of his office and Buffy's like, Giles, I gotta tell you something, man.
Now she got the watery eyes too.
Yeah. And she's like, I gotta tell you something. I haven't been truthful with you. And as she's starting to say stuff, Faith walks out of the office. And Faith's like, I told him everything, Buffy. And Buffy's like, oh, thank God. And Faith's like, yeah, I told him everything that you did. And you need to figure this out. And Buffy's like, what? Everything I did? And Giles is like, Buffy, enough. Get in my office. And Buffy's like, Giles, I didn't fucking do this. Faith did this. And Giles is like, I've heard enough. Get in my office. Faith, go home. And Faith's like, oh, you're in trouble, Buffy. And as soon as that happened, I was like, wow, Faith is a fucking asshole, dude. What a slimy piece of shit.
Yeah. So when the scene was starting, I was like, oh, yeah, Faith is definitely all right there. Just the way the cameras worked and having seen TV shows. But it's still like, damn, Faith, really? You really pulled this trick? And then the Giles thing, I was like, wait a minute. Giles? Yeah. I was like, you're not. I was like, no.
Yeah. No. So Faith's like, deuces, Buffy. Have fun answering to that. Yeah. And I was like, wow, dude. Scumbag roach move.
This is the lowest thing. This is really low. Like, I'm trying to think of, like, there's been some awful things that some people have done. But this is only her second. What is this? Her third awful thing this episode?
Yeah. I mean, she's piling them up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what Faith is. Faith is I need to get out of this as any way I can. I'm a roach. I'll throw anyone under the bus if it means that I'm safe.
Yeah.
So Faith leaves. Buffy goes into the office with Giles, and Buffy's full on crying now. And she's like, Giles, you have to fucking believe me. I did not do this. I did not kill a guy. And Giles is like, I know, dude. Yeah. I know. I just need to get Faith out of here. Mm-hmm. Faith is a woman of many talents, but lying is not one of them. I know what went down. And Buffy's like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, Giles, there's no way Faith comes in. You believe Faith over Buffy.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, yeah, definitely good job playing it up to get her out of there to figure out what to do. Also, though, shouldn't the Watchers be teaching Slayers how to lie? They should not be this bad at it. Especially when they were like, hey, keep your Slayer identity a secret. But also, we're not going to tell you how to do that.
Yeah. I mean, they're so bad, dude. But Giles' whole thing is like, Buffy, I know we're in like a sticky situation now. I wish you would have fucking told me when it first happened. Because we have measures to take care of things like this. And Buffy's like, what? And he's looking at her. He's like, Buffy, this is not the first time this has happened. Mm-hmm. Accidents happen like this all the time. I was like, okay, me and Vance are validated here in the fact that, like, yeah, we thought that this was a risk.
Yeah. It's and no Giles, way you don't have this happen in the show. But I do like that they say, oh, well, this isn't the first time a Slayer has stabbed, like when you shot a bazooka in a mall, could have killed anybody.
Yeah, dude. How did you not think about that? There's all kinds of collateral damage.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought when he said that, though, I thought that Buffy was going to be like, what? Because it is kind of towing that line of like what Faith said earlier. Like, yes, dude, it was an accident. This happens all the time. And when Giles was like, look, dude, it happens. but we Watchers, we have ways of like covering it up, and we do our own investigation. And I thought Buffy was going to be like, that's still not right. But Buffy is just relieved. She's like, oh, whew, okay. As long as the Watchers thinks it's okay.
Yeah. Well, this Watcher thing is like, what would happen to her? Well, we would, bring her over and investigate and then met out our own punishment. I'm like, you just kidnap a teenage girl, you Watchers? Like, how does this, like, who is in charge of this? How are they funded? Like, I am more intrigued about the Watchers than I am about anything else in this show.
Yeah, like their shadow society that makes no fucking sense at all.
I have a better understanding of how the Vampire Society works than the Watcher Society.
I feel like there should be another spinoff of just called The Watchers, and we just like understand what the hell's going on with this society.
Because like they're meting out their own justice.
Yeah.
What?
They have their own fucking like jail, it seems like.
Yeah.
But Giles is talking. He's like, dude, this isn't the first time that happens. But now we're in a weird situation because Faith obviously is not going to take responsibility for her actions. She came in here, she lied, she threw you under the bus. That's bad, dude. So we need to figure out how to approach this. And we need to do this delicately because Faith is in a delicate place. And she could fly off. She's a loose cannon. And we need to like figure out how we're going to dole out our own version of justice as we see fit. And as Giles is saying this, the camera is panning out of his office and swoops out into the library proper. And Wesley is there and he's overhearing all this. And he looks very, very unhappy about this development.
The most British way of looking peeved.
He is tutting quite a bit.
I just don't understand this library and its lack of security and measures. People can just... You just were kidnapped by 5 vampires last episode. Put a bell on the door like a deli, at least. Like that's at the minimum
that you could do.
So someone walked into the library. Like that's the minimum.
Yeah.
Like come on.
It is wild, man. I wonder if they ever remedy that. I doubt that they will.
If they do, I don't know. Like it'll be too late. It'll be too late for me to really give it credit.
That's the commercial break thing where Wesley hears it and then we come back from commercial and Wesley's calling the Watcher Society and he wants to get on the phone with Quentin Travers because I have an emergency. What's the password? Monkey. Spell it. M-O-N. Oh, pity with this. It's an emergency.
Just like this is the more information we need, and I know less now.
Yeah. So he's calling Quentin, who is the head of the Watchers, as we saw a couple episodes ago. And now the gang of Buffy, Willow, Xander, and Giles are meeting in school. And it looks like they're in the lunchroom and no one else is there. All of the chairs are like turned upside down.
I don't know if this is after school. Who knows what time, why they're meeting here. I don't know. Yeah. Just a new location. We've been in a library a bunch this episode. Switch it up.
So they are having a talk about like, how do we go through with talking to Faith about this? This is wild. Do you think that we should have like an intervention? And Buffy's like, remember how well that went last time when you did it to me? I almost came to blows with Xander. And Xander's like, more like you almost delimbed me because I am a regular human and you are superhuman.
Yeah.
And then Xander's like, honestly, I could go over and talk to Faith. And everyone's like, what the fuck? Why? And he's like, I feel like me and Faith have kind of a connection. We have a little bit of a connection. And Buffy's like, why would you think that you and Faith have a connection? You guys never hung out, ever. And Xander's like, well, a few episodes ago, I saw her fighting a demon and I helped her and I ran it over with my car and I gave her a ride home. And Buffy's like, and what? You guys talked on the way home and you think that that's what gave you a connection? And Xander's like, well, we didn't do much talking. And then Buffy's like, oh. And Giles is like, oh. And Willow's like, I don't need to say, oh, I figured this out a while ago when he said that they had a connection.
Yeah.
And then Buffy's like, oh, Xander.
This is a great moment.
I don't know how to tell you this, but the guys that Faith has a quote unquote connection with, she doesn't take them seriously and she laughs about them and thinks that they're a big joke. She takes them as a big joke. No offense, though. And Xander goes, oh, no. Why would I be offended by that?
I will say Xander's in a little bit of scenes, only like 2 scenes this episode, maybe 3.
Yeah.
And he's great. This is a really good Xander episode. Like,
yeah, it really is.
This is an episode where it really makes you feel for Xander. Like,
yeah,
he's trying to do the right thing here. I love in these network TV shows how they just can't say sex, so they have to dance around it. Like, give them the happy and like all this stuff. Like, I just love like people that she has a connection with. Like those code words are just so funny.
So they're like, well, Xander, I don't think this is the best idea for you. I think that we need to take a little bit of time and come back and think about this a little bit more. Until then, let's research some. Xander, I need you to help me research some files. Willow, will you help research? Can you break into the mayor's computer, hack into his computer? And Willow's like, I guess, I think so, whatever.
Yeah, she's like, this news has just hit her so hard.
Yeah, she is devastated, as we see in the next scene. She's in the bathroom just bawling her eyes out.
Well, in the next scene, we cut to like this song is playing. It's like a little sadness montage music. I don't know exactly what song it is. I didn't look it up.
Yeah, me neither. And it is a sadness montage, but
yeah.
It focuses heavily on Willow to begin. Like, it's a long Willow.
Well, it's a shot outside the bathroom stall, and you hear the sobbing. And I was like, oh, we're going to go in there, and it's going to be Faith crying. This will be kind of interesting.
That's what I thought was going to happen as well.
And then we go in, and it's Willow crying. And, like, really crying.
Yeah.
Like, really. And I'm just like, I don't know if the audience is with her on it at the time. Like, where's Oz?
Yes, that's what I was just about to say.
Yeah, I wrote that in my notes. I was like, Oz needs to be here in this scene. I don't know, production-wise, scheduling, who knows why he couldn't be there. But it seems like if Oz is sitting there when that news comes up, and he sees Willow react like that, like it's just over. Like it's just one of those things where like we've seen her try to win back Oz, get Oz, tried to sleep with Oz.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if she had slept with Oz, would she still had the same reaction to finding out that Faith slept with... Like, if she had found out that he had slept with Cordelia, would it be the same, too? Like,
I feel like what's going to happen now is it's going to be that Willow lash out thing where she's going to try to fuck Oz again.
Well, I think that's you thinking like you think.
No, but, dude,
but I don't think
based on what Willow has done in the past, remember when Xander was making out with Cordelia, that she tried to make out with Oz?
Yeah.
And then Oz caught them cheating, and then she tried to fuck Oz. And now she's going to try to fuck Oz.
We can't have another her trying to fuck Oz scene again, though.
That's just like, that would be consistent with her character, though.
Yes, but then like what? He's just going to say no again because he finds out about Faith? Or they're just actually going to have sex, and then what is that?
Or Willow's going to try and fuck Xander now. Or she's going to grill him about it. Like, was it good?
Here's the thing. I could see her being, like, pissed off and annoyed by it. You know? Like how he was annoyed when she's dating Oz. Mm-hmm. Like, and he was just like, what? What are you doing? What base did you go to? Like, that jealousy thing. But not, like, full out sobbing in the bathroom about this news.
So here's the thing, too, is, like, a lot of people will trash Xander. And for good reason. Like, last episode, he talked about, like, hooker stuff. And, like, he said some, like, really homophobic stuff. But a lot of, I feel like the criticism of Xander is like his jealousy and possessiveness. But Willow is exhibiting the exact same thing right here. But I don't see as many people trashing Willow.
Well, I think there's some future stuff with Willow that probably leans towards that. Her not getting trashed. But just like one random spoiler I know of like later relationship of hers. But
like, here's the thing: is like Xander is single and Willow is with Oz right now.
Yeah,
and she is crying about Xander hooking up with Faith. Like, you can't talk about possessiveness and jealousy issues without bringing that up with Willow.
And it's weird because it's like, do they have? If this happened during that time when they were flirting, and she was in that between time with Oz, and then he slept with Faith, I'm more on board with that.
Yeah.
But after seeing the reconciliation with Oz, it seems like I could understand being upset about this, feeling some type of way, but full on sobbing like the love of your life. Like, Xander hasn't even like flipped out that. I mean, he has gone hard about Angel, but he has reason to, because Angel's killed some people that they know. Yeah. But like that is like crazy.
Yeah.
Like I just thought it was I really thought it was gonna be Faith crying in the bathroom.
I did too.
And for it to be Willow, it added such an extra layer. Like, I expected her to be like saying like backhanded comments to him during times
or
and stuff.
Something like, "Oh, you just can't keep him off of Slayer," or some shit like "you and Slayers."
Yeah, and then like next episode, like Oz is around and she's saying some weird stuff, and I was like, "What are you doing?" But like to have her just full on sobbing, like she just lost the love of her life.
Yeah,
because he had sex with Faith, who doesn't care about him.
Yeah,
like having sex with a murderer, I thought also Xander would react to more.
Yeah, he's just like, "I'll talk to her.
I'll talk to her.
Look, we fucked.
I know she killed a dude, but I'm good. I'll talk to her."
So after like lingering on Willow, like sobbing in the bathroom, we have like the sadness montage with the sad song, and then we go to Xander, who's in the library, and Xander is looking like, I fucked up. And it's like, why are you looking like you fucked up? Like, I guess his feelings are hurt because he thought that he had something with Faith when he doesn't. But he looks like he's also devastated for some reason. Yeah. And I didn't really get why. And then we go to Faith. And Faith is at her home and she's just watching TV and she looks not sad at all. And Faith gets a knock at the door. And I got to say here, Faith is looking fucking rad as hell.
She's got the leather pants on.
Those leather pants, man, they look cool as shit.
I can't wait for Buffy to adopt those. Like, what is the change? She's like,
I don't know.
What? I like Faith's look. Like,
it's a good look, man. She's got like a mesh like button up, and she's got like a black bandeau underneath of it. It looks cool, dude.
You would think Bad Girls would have led to that if it didn't end the way it did, where they go on like a shopping montage and Buffy gets whole new clothes,
just all leather.
Yeah.
But Faith hears a knock at the door, and it is Xander. Xander decided on his own accord, I'm going to go and talk to Faith. Giles, Buffy, Willow, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Me and Faith, we have a connection. I want to go talk to her and see what I can get out of this. So he comes in. He's like, hey, I just want to come in and talk. And Faith's like, you sure that's all you want to do? Big stuff. Maybe I'm not interested. And he's like, no, dude, let's just talk. I'd like to just talk. And Faith's like, all right, you got 5 minutes. And he comes in and he's like, 5 minutes is all I need. Well, I mean, I don't usually last through 5. Premature ejaculation joke. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, look, I know what happened. I heard about what happened. It's crazy. And Faith's like, yeah, you heard about what Buffy did, right? Isn't that wild? And Xander's like, yeah, I heard that version. Let's talk about what really happened, though, because I know that it is you that is the murderer. And I think that you need to like confide in the gang. Like, we are on your side. We want to help you. And Faith's like, you think I need help? I could do whatever I fucking want to you right now. And Xander's like, I realize that. I hope you don't do that. But look, like, why are you don't need to like have this tough guy routine with me. Like, I'm trying to be on your side. You could really use an ally right now, and you're pushing me away, and you don't need to do that. I'm on your side. I want to help you, but you have to let me in. And Faith's like, oh, you want to come in, huh, big boy? How about we start fucking again? And Xander's like, no, dude, not like this. It was great the first time, but there's a lot of shit going on right now. I've seen how you are when you are finished slaying and you're acting, you do crazy stuff. And then she's like, yeah, you saw it firsthand because it's crazy that I would ever think to fuck you. And Xander's like, ouch, a little bit. I know that you're just lashing out, but come on, dude. And then she starts like coming up close to him and making out with him. And Xander's like, no, dude, I don't want this. And she goes, I can do whatever the fuck I want to you. And she throws him on the bed. And she's like, I can fucking take you right now. And Xander's like laying there. He's like, I know this. I know. And she's like, what is it? It's just a little skin to skin contact. She starts unbuckling his belt. And Xander's like, I don't want this. And I was feeling very uncomfortable.
I couldn't help but think about our moderator on Discord, Elias, who was writing about, we had a long convo on the Zeppo one about whether or not Faith's actions with Xander were like if they crossed the line in Zeppo.
Yeah.
And we were on the like, yeah, it's like not great, but it was consented. It was consented, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. This one is full on rape.
Yeah, no. At the very least, Xander is being sexually assaulted.
Yes.
And he's just like, no, I don't want this. I just want to talk to you. And Faith's like, I can take you. I'm going to take you. I can make you scream. And she starts like riding him and like giving him a pretty intense like lap dance.
Yeah.
She goes, I can make you scream or I can kill you. And she puts her hands around Xander's throat and starts choking him. And Xander's like, and he's like, he's like kind of trying to get off of it. Mm-hmm. But he realizes that he can't because he's just a normal guy. And this is a superhuman that is choking him. And she is choking him for a while.
Yeah, this isn't part, like she is literally going to kill him.
Yes, she is. And her face is like dead set on like, I'm going to fucking kill this fucking weasel twerp.
Yeah.
And Xander's looking up at her like, don't do this. Yeah. Like his acting in this scene is so good. This scene is so great. And his face when he's being choked is like, it's so hurt. Mm-hmm. And like, why are you doing this? I'm trying to help you. Like you think that everybody else is out to get you.
No,
I'm genuinely here. I told you I'm trying to help you and I want to be on your side. And you're literally killing me.
Yeah. I thought that's what I was saying. This Xander episode, like him in this scene is like great. Like he does his Xander-isms, you know, yeah. But he's also like earnest and like sincere and like really like sympathetic and empathetic. And it's like he plays all those emotions well. And like he goes through the gamut. And meanwhile, like Faith is just like unraveling.
Yeah,
like,
she is unraveling, manic, dude.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
So as she's choking him and Xander's like, the life is slipping from his eyes, we get, and I don't know how this happened, but Angel has arrived and he smacks Faith in the head with a fucking baseball bat.
Yeah.
How did he get in there unnoticed?
I knew Angel was going to come in and hit her just because we had seen him standing outside her apartment building before. So it was set up that he has been watching her.
Now, here is the question. Has Faith ever invited Angel inside her motel, or are motels considered a public place that Angel can go in without an invitation? Because I can't imagine Faith ever inviting Angel in, but now here he is in her bedroom with a baseball bat smacking her upon the head.
That seems like a new question for our Discord. Like, we need some answers.
I think that is a plot hole.
You might be right about that one. I knew he was going to be there and I knew he was going to save her.
Yeah,
I knew he was going to save, but I wasn't even thinking about it. Can he come in?
Yeah.
I just love that he watched all of it.
Oh, yeah.
Like he sat there and he's like, oh, I'm just going to watch this sex scene until it turns to...
Let's see how this plays out. Okay, she's going for his belt. He's shaking his head no. He's screaming no. I'll watch this rape happen.
Okay, it's playful choking. Oh, no, that choking is a little too Wait, you got a safe word? No? Okay.
Okay. All right. I was down to watch a rape, but murder, this is a little beyond what I'm prepared.
I don't really like Xander, though, so.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
So then the next scene is Angel or Faith waking up in the mansion, and she's chained up, and Angel's there with his baseball bat, and he's like,
please tell me the Angel series is Angel walking around with a baseball bat. Solving crimes with a baseball bat.
That'd be awesome. Like he's like the Punisher, but a vampire.
And is it a wooden baseball bat? Like just like
dude,
using like something that could break in half and be your death.
That's what I was thinking too. Like because I saw him have the wooden baseball bat, and I was like, "That's risky, buddy."
Yeah, dude, go aluminum.
But Faith is like, "Get me out of these chains. What are you doing here? I knew that you were the type of guy to chain people up, huh?" And Angel's like, "No, dude, I'm not gonna suffer your foolishness. I got you chained up here because we're gonna try to help you, and I know what you're going through." And I'm going to help you. And Faith is like, you have no idea what I'm going through. You're a fucking vampire. You don't know anything. You're a bigger murderer than I'll ever be. And Angel's like, okay, whatever, man. I have so much time to wait. And I thought this was a great line because he's walking away. He's like, you can sit there as long as you want, dude, because I'm not getting any older.
Yeah, I did think that was great. There's a line later that's not so great, but this one was a good one.
Yeah, and he walks away from Faith, and Faith's like,
she's in the same spot he was when he was feral.
But also, she can break. How can she not break out of this?
I mean,
we've seen Buffy break out of chains.
We have, but also this is the spot where Angel, like later is the breakout spot where I'm like, okay, she should be able to break out of this. But we've seen Angel chained up in that place when he was feral.
I mean, one episode ago, we saw her break out of a cop car, kick through like a chain thing, and I assume that she broke out of the handcuffs.
Yeah, handcuffs are easier to break than this. I'm just saying, we've had Angel chained up in the things. So I'll give that. It's the later scene that's really just egregious.
So Angel walks outside and Buffy's waiting outside. And I can't believe that Faith wouldn't have overheard this because Wesley overheard Giles whispering to Buffy in his office. But Buffy's like, how is she? And Angel's like, she's not talking. It's been like 2 minutes, dude. She seems unremorseful.
She's got a taste for killing now.
Yeah, it's like, where did you get this deduction?
Like, you guys are really pushing the spin-off hard.
Yeah. And Buffy's like, I still have faith in her. Let's leave her chained up here for a while. You work on her. You keep talking to her. Let's see if we can break through the other side with her. I'm going to go to her apartment. I'm going to get some of her stuff, make her feel more at home in these chains. Yeah. And you keep working with her.
Yeah, and you give her a sponge bath every week too when you unchain her. Like,
yeah, and this is where Angel is like, I think she might be beyond help. She's got a taste for murder.
Do vampires go to the bathroom?
I don't know. They don't. What? They would just like poop blood, poop and bleed blood.
I don't know. I mean, like we eat other food and we don't pee out steak. You know, like you know what I mean? Like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. What's up with the vampire's digestive system? Because I'm thinking like you could chain up him for a while, you know, but like chaining up Faith for a while, you're gonna have to figure out some bathroom situation. You're gonna have to
feed her something too.
You're gonna feed her, figure out,
piss in her pants.
Yeah,
and those are leather pants, dude.
Yeah, those are never coming off.
So now we have the mayor, and he's reviewing footage of Faith and Buffy breaking into City Hall, and he's like, "How the hell did this happen? This is great. This is just great." So
a vampire was in your like little cabinet.
Yeah.
So like it's not that hard to break in.
So he's like, great, we got not only one Slayer, we got 2 Slayers on our hands here. And they're breaking into City Hall. We can't be having this. This is bad news. And guess what? Look at them. They just saw us buddy. They know that I'm in cahoots with a vampire. And Mr. Trigger's like, why don't we just arrest him, dude? He's like, there's not enough evidence to arrest him.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, you're a crooked mayor.
There's not enough evidence to arrest them? Just plan a wooden stake.
Hey, guess what, Hal? There's evidence that they broke into City Hall. Arrest them for that. What are you thinking? You have video footage of them breaking into a government building.
You know where they live.
Like, this is absurd.
Yeah. I was all excited about the legal ramifications of this.
Me too. I was like, oh, this is how he could arrest them. There's footage of them. He's like, don't got it. You have a smoking gun. You're watching a smoking gun right now. Arrest them.
And if the cop's not working with the mayor, is that cop just like, well, their stories doesn't add up, but I guess they were off at the bronze banging people.
Yeah, like teenage girls, they're watching infomercials.
Either watching infomercials, banging vampires, or
old-timey movies.
Yeah.
So dumb. So then we go back to Angel talking to Faith about murder, and he's like, I know all about murder, dude. I've murdered a bunch of people. And Faith's like, yeah, well, you don't know anything about murder. And he's like, I know so much about murder. You are a fucking child. You're acting like a child, and you're not doing right. And I know about right and wrong. And this isn't right. And you're not doing the right thing. And as he's talking to her and lecturing her about doing the right thing, Wesley, the Watcher, shows up.
Before that, there's a line where he says something like, you don't know the price of evil or something. And then she goes, I hope evil takes MasterCard.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, that just reminded me of like that Batman movie where he has a bat card.
Oh, the bat card.
Yeah. It's like, oh, this is so bad.
So yeah, Wesley shows up with a gang of goons, and they throw a net on top of Angel. He has a giant cross that he shows Angel. Throw a net on top of him. Angel falls to the ground. They start beating him with a tire iron and crowbars and stuff.
Just straight up like mob tactics.
Yeah. And then Wesley unchains Faith from her shackles. And Faith's like, all right, I knew you were on my side. You're a Watcher. And then he immediately handcuffs her into another thing of handcuffs. And she's like, wait, what? What the fuck is this? And he's like, you're coming with me. You're coming back to England for Watcher judgment.
Yeah. I was wondering how much time was left. I was like, is this the end of the episode? Will we actually see her in London with this justice? And I was like, no. Once I saw the next scene, I was like, no.
Yeah. So in the next scene, they're in a Watcher paddy wagon, which is just like an unmarked ice cream truck.
Yeah.
And they're driving around, and Wesley is like, we're taking you back to England. You're going to face some stiff punishment for your actions, and blah, blah, blah. And he's in the back of this paddy wagon with a Watcher goon.
Why don't they just turn her into the local police?
Right?
Like, maybe because she could break out of the prison or something, but like, what? Like, I wrote down this note that the way they talk about Faith atoning for what she did is not actually like justice for Alan's death.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, as long as she's remorseful, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's just,
that's why I thought it was wild when Giles was like, this happens all the time.
He's like,
and
fine.
Buffy being like, oh, okay.
We've seen Giles like not even flinch with kids dying right now. Like, Giles is so jaded.
Yeah. But Faith, her shackles are like tied to this wooden bench.
Mm-hmm.
And she starts to like pull at them, and she sees like, oh, there's an opportunity for me to break out of here. Mm-hmm. And Wesley sees it too, and he goes, nope, that ain't happening. Watch her goon, tighten her shackles. And the goon walks over there.
I was watching the scene before it happened. I was like, why are her legs not shackled also?
Yeah.
You train watchers. You train slayers. Slayers, all they do is kick.
All they do is spin kicks. They're masters of spin jutsu.
Spin kick. Yeah. So, like, why is her legs just, like, dangling out there? I'm like, and then when she does her, like, move the chain thing, you could see this one little screw, like, almost unfastened. You know you're capturing a slayer.
Yeah.
Bring more stuff.
That looks so rickety.
Like, she could just jump up and, like, break the wood that it's on. Like, it's such a...
This got me wondering, is there, like, a slayer kryptonite? Like, is there something that,
getting
like...
hit in the back of the head with something heavy?
Hold up, pause. Why didn't they fucking give her that injection that they were giving Buffy to make her helpless?
Here's a bigger question, now that we're into this. Why didn't they kill Angel?
Right?
He's a vampire. Do they know he's a vampire?
For a second?
I don't know if he knows he's a vampire, actually.
I don't think Wesley
no, he has to. They
because
came
he
with
has the cross. Yeah.
Why did they just beat up a vampire with crowbars and just leave? Like, I don't feel like he respects Buffy and Angel's relationship that much. And he hasn't even brought up the fact that he saw her kiss him.
Yeah.
Wesley saw Buffy the Slayer that he's in charge of kiss a vampire at the Bronze last episode and has not reacted to that one bit.
Yeah.
And I kind of need that to know why he didn't just kill a vampire, which is their job.
That is interesting.
Yeah. It's just something that, like, I was like, why did they just leave him tied in a net?
Yeah, and it wasn't even, like, very... like, that was really flimsily done. Like, it didn't even look like they tied him. It just looked like they threw a net over him.
And then just started hitting him. It was the weirdest thing. But, like, no, they do have the kryptonite that they can inject watchers with. But I don't think that's ever coming back again.
Yeah, I mean, they should have done that with Faith, Slayer serum.
You can tie up a Slayer. Slayers have been tied up multiple times. Yeah. Like, just have more shackles in that van.
So as the Watcher goon goes over to tighten Faith's restraints, Faith kicks him, sweeps him off of his feet, puts her foot to his head, and she looks at Wesley and she goes, "You better fucking untie me from these chains or I'm going to pop his head like a grape." And she starts to press down on this guy's head and he's like, "Ah!" And Wesley's like, okay, chill.
I wanted to see her do it.
Me too. I wanted to see her go full Breaking Bad, you know?
And just like Wesley's covered in like head guts and he's just screaming.
Yeah. Because as we all know, we found out last episode, Wesley is a coward.
I mean, he just hasn't experienced stuff. He's a coward in a way that most people would be in this situation, I would think. But you would think Watchers, I don't know, Watchers are weird.
So there's also a wrench on the ground that the goon was going to use to, I guess, tighten her restraints.
Which seem like they're hammered in.
Yeah. So Wesley gets up and he unrestrains Faith, and Faith just decks him. Mm-hmm. And he falls right where the wrench is. And he goes to grab the wrench. And he's like, "I'm going to fucking pop Faith with this." He turns around to swing the wrench. Faith grabs his arm and goes, "Wrong again, Wes." Just kicks the shit out of him.
I think she headbutts him or something.
Oh, she did. Yeah, she did headbutt him.
Yeah.
And now he is knocked out. Faith breaks out of the paddy wagon. The driver of the paddy wagon just keeps driving.
Yeah, he can't hear what's happening in the back because they're all idiots. My favorite thing is when she jumps out of the back of the van, she falls backwards because of the momentum. Yeah. And I freaking love that because you never see that.
Yep. It was a nice touch of nice reality touch.
Yeah. Because your momentum's going the way the car's driving. You're jumping out backwards. You land on your feet and then you roll backwards.
Yeah.
Backwards to you. Yeah.
So now Faith is on the loose. Then we go back to the mansion. Buffy is coming there with some of Faith's stuff. She sees Angel all netted up and she's like, "No, baby, no." Unnets him.
Why is there not more talk about Buffy and Angel still being in a relationship?
No idea.
It's so scary.
It's
just one
terrifying.
slip up and Giles' balls are in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. So then after Buffy unties Angel, they all can reconvene back at the library. It is Angel, Buffy, Giles, Xander, Willow. And Angel, he's like, yeah, man, I had her chained up. And that new Watcher guy, he let her go and he shoved a cross in my face and threw a net on me. And that's why I got beat up. And he took Faith. And now he's got Faith. And now Wesley shows up and he's all...
Wait, no, he doesn't show up just now. Because there's more...
Willow?
Right. Yeah, there's like Willow, there's a whole conversation. Yeah.
Willow's like, you know what? What's so bad about that? I think that Faith should go to Watcher jail for what she did. She murdered a guy and she's showing no remorse. She's trying to break out. She's not being helpful at all. She won't let us help her. So fuck her. Let her go to jail.
She also tried to hurt Xander. And Xander's in the corner cowering and his neck is just all bruised up. Like he's not even saying anything. It's like, yeah. And Willow takes the stance that Xander had against Angel. Yeah. Which I was like, oh, this is a cool little dynamic.
My, how the turntables. So after that conversation, Wesley does show up at this point. And he's like, I think that it's better that Wesley has her. I think that it's good that Wesley has her. And he shows up and he's like, I don't got her anymore.
Yeah.
He's got a big black eye. And he's like, she escaped. She's on the loose, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's like,
and Angel's like, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's like, what a great job. Thanks,
if I'm Angel, I'm definitely punching him in the other eye just for that beatdown they just put on me.
Yeah. And so everybody just looks at Wesley like, you're a big, dumb fucked guy. So great. She's on the loose. And Buffy gets the gang together and she's like, I'm going to go check the docks with Angel. Giles, you go check her. What is Giles checking? Somebody's checking her apartment and somebody else is checking some other place. I don't remember what the other place is.
Usual haunts or whatever.
Willow
and Xander. And like, be careful. If you find her, page me. Yes. There was an earlier scene, like the scene when they're all talking in the cafeteria. Mm-hmm. Buffy says, I owe Faith that much, you know? Mm-hmm. And I was just like, you don't owe Faith anything.
Yeah.
Like, you and Faith don't have... Like, do you feel this way because you feel like you birthed her into the world by dying once? Like, I don't understand why Buffy feels like she needs to help Faith so much.
Yeah, I don't know what Faith has really taught Buffy that Buffy will continue to carry on. You know, like everything that we've seen with Buffy and Faith has been like, just steal stuff. Who cares if I murder a person? Wear more leather. Like maybe she's going to take the leather from Faith.
And even before that, like they were fighting about Angel. And then like she hated that there was two Watchers or two Slayers. And then every time she fights with Faith always goes off the rails and almost gets her killed. It's like, there's not been a bond between the two of them ever, like in any of the scenes that we've seen. So it's really confusing to me why she's like, oh, I owe her that much. I'm like, she just ratted you out to Giles and blamed you for murder.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, if that's not a breaking point, then.
But there was that one scene when they were at the Bronze dancing with all those guys.
Oh, yeah, that was before she murdered a guy.
But Vance, there was that one time where she got her to skip school and climb out the window from her chemistry test.
she hated Scott Hope for a minute.
Yeah.
I just don't like, there just hasn't been enough of a bond between the two of them for me to think that Buffy would go out of her way.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
So after everybody splits up and they got their assignment, they all walk past Wesley and Wesley's like, what can I do? I want to help. And they all just walk past him like, fuck you. Give him the look of like, you're a turd, dude. Get out of here.
I'm really interested to see how his character evolves.
Me too, because there is no remorse in this episode. And I remember talking about it in the last episode after Giles rescued him like 3 times, that he was going to have some respect for Giles or like ask for Giles's input. And then he did that whole thing of like, I didn't ask you, Giles. I was like, this guy, you would be dead 3 times over without this guy.
And Giles referenced the last episode in this one. He was like, I would think that you would think lightly on your plans after your last one went so horribly.
Yeah.
Know?
But nope. So then we go to Buffy, and Buffy's walking around the docks, and she walks by one tanker, and Faith shows up. She goes, you just don't give up, do you, kid? And Buffy's like, not on my friends. And Faith's like, I'm not your fucking friend, guy.
Yeah. And I'm like, Faith, if you didn't poke your head up, she wasn't going to hop onto the boat.
Exactly.
And also, there are other ways to leave a town than by boat.
Yeah.
She could just take a car and drive to another town.
I feel like sneaking on a tanker is the most like hobo kind of way to do it.
Cinematic, like, but where's this thing going?
Who knows? Who cares? She's gonna be a slayer in China or some shit.
She could take a plane. She could take a train.
I feel like you have to buy tickets for those.
When Buffy left, she took a bus.
That's true, and Buffy was wanted for murder at that point.
Yeah. So I don't know.
But Buffy lectures Faith about, you have good in you, and Faith's like, you don't know me very well, do you?
Have you not been paying attention to this episode?
And she's like, I'm not going to give up on you, Faith. And Faith jumps down from their little railing, and she's like, you love being... I forget how we get to...
It's the weirdest staging because, like, Buffy went to find her. And then once Faith is like, oh, you know it, you just don't want to be like me. Or like, I'm all the bad things that you feel about yourself that you don't want to become. And then Buffy starts to walk away as if she's being lectured to. And I'm like, you came here to find her. Where are you walking to?
Yeah, like, what is the plan here?
Yeah.
And then Faith she's like, you're not so good. You're not a goody two-shoes yourself. You've been protecting Angel, and you fucked Angel. What was that like? You loved fucking a vampire murderer, didn't you? And Buffy's like, she starts storming off even more.
Yeah, and I'm just like, wait, what is this?
Yeah, I don't know. And then Buffy restrains herself there, and then Faith says something else like, I'm everything that you want to be, and you're mad because you can't be me. And then Buffy just turns around and decks Faith.
Before that, there's the part where she's like, you think you're above the law. And she's like, we are the law, B.
Yeah.
She always says B. She always calls her B, which is funny. Yeah.
She's like, I am judgment, basically. I can do whatever I want because I'm stronger than these punk-ass cops.
Yeah.
And eventually it leads to Buffy punching Faith. And Faith's like, that's the girl I've been waiting for. And then Buffy just walks away some more, and then Faith goes back in her face, like pointing and yelling at her. And then this was the most random thing that ever happened in this show.
Mm-hmm.
A giant crate on a crane just falls from the sky. I was like, what the hell is this? It makes sense a little bit later, but
it's very little. And then Buffy pushes Faith out of the way and gets like crushed by these cranes.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of vampires come out.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of vampire fighting.
It seems like the crate on the crane was set up by Mr. Trick, who now has a gang of vampires coming to attack the Slayers.
Here's my thing. You guys know the school that these Slayers go to, where they live, and your plan is to hope that they walk underneath this non-moving crate. It's the quietest dock too. Like there's no workers or anything out here.
Yeah.
And when they started talking, they were by the boat, nowhere near this crate.
Yeah.
So somehow, in their genius planning, because also Buffy didn't know where Faith went.
Yeah.
So she finds Faith, and they somehow magically walk underneath a crate that's just randomly in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, here's the thing. What if Buffy hadn't shown up? Faith would have never gotten off that boat. And then what?
They just keep a guy in a crate just in case.
Would they have would they have gotten on the boat?
I don't know. It's just so much convenience here.
Are vampires allowed on boats?
Yes, because
Angel was gonna. Yeah. You're right.
Boats are their mode of travel.
True. So after Buffy pushes Faith out of the way, a Trick and his gang of vampires start beating up Faith. And of course, they're going one at a time. And Faith is able to fend them off a little bit. Mm-hmm. There was a nice moment where one of the vampires is like holding Faith back or is behind Faith. And the one that's in front of Faith tries to kick Faith. Mm-hmm. Faith ducks and the vampire kicks the other vampire. And I was like, nice, friendly fire.
Yeah.
Faith is holding her own here, and she's fighting off like 5 or 6 vampires.
Yeah, we've seen her before Faith existed. Like Buffy would fight like 10 vampires for fun. Like she fought her way out of hell.
Yes,
Buffy fought every demon in hell and made her way back out. Like
she led a communist revolution in hell, unscathed, and now a crate fell on her. And here's my thing. So there's 6 vampires fighting Faith. Mr. Trick is nowhere to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
Buffy is crushed under this crate, and she can't get out.
Mm-hmm.
She is struggling so hard to get out from under this crate. Why is no one murdering Buffy while she's stuck under this crate?
Because the crate did its job. The crate... You just trust and have faith in the crate.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
So Buffy's starting to get out from under the crate.
Mm-hmm.
Faith chucks a vampire into the boat and he flails into the ocean, into the harbor or whatever. She stakes one guy, stakes another guy. Buffy finally gets out from under the crate. Mr. Trick shows up out of nowhere to just punch her in the throat.
Dude, that punch sent her spinning.
Yeah.
Like, he beats the shit out of Buffy.
Dude, he wails on Buffy. Because Buffy, she's injured because she had a crate on her.
And his stuntman is huge.
Yeah.
Like, his stuntman is like, he turned into the Hulk whenever they cut to that guy. He's so much bigger.
So he's wailing on her while she's on the ground. He takes out this big fucking like belt or something, wraps it around her neck, and he's choking her.
A lot of choking in this episode.
Dude, there's always a lot of choking in Buffy. That's kind of their thing when their non-lethal mode of torture, it seems like.
Even Wesley was choking when he ran into Cordelia.
Oh man, so Mr. Trick pushes Buffy up against this wooden crate. And as he did this, I was looking around, I was like, gee, Willikers, there is a lot of wood all over this dock. How has no one made a makeshift stake? And this is when Faith starts staking people with a makeshift stake. And I was like, okay, at least Faith has some sense. So then Faith, after she stakes the last of whoever she's fighting, she looks over and she sees Buffy getting choked out by Mr. Trick.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Trick, this is the best acting I've seen in this show, aside from Xander earlier. Mr. Trick in full vampire face goes, I heard once you go Slayer, you never go back. And then he goes, he leans back.
That's your favorite acting.
Dude, it was unbelievable. It was so over the top and glorious. I loved it because I'm such a big Mr. Trick fan, which is terrible for me.
Yeah, I like Mr. Trick too. I think there's a lot more that we could do with Mr. Trick.
So he leans back. It looked like he unhinged his jaw, dude. His fangs are enormous. And he goes, and he goes to bite Buffy's neck. And right as he bites Buffy's neck, you hear like a, and then you see him go, oh, this isn't good. This isn't good at all. And then turns into dust.
Yeah.
And Faith has staked him. And she looks at Buffy, and Buffy looks at Faith like, you saved me.
And we had this a little bit last episode too, where she saved Buffy, and when they were underneath, when she dragged her underneath to fight those demons, and Buffy throws a stake and saves Faith, and Faith looks at her. Mm-hmm. The thing is, Faith saving Buffy here doesn't change anything for me.
No.
Because the thing wasn't like, oh, I'm worried that Faith is going to kill all of us. Like, until she started strangling Xander, I had no fear that Faith was going to go on a murderous rampage against the Scooby Gang. You know? So, like, it's not like, oh, Faith will let me die. Yeah. Like, I didn't think that was even an issue. So, her saving you here, I mean, it would have been crazy if she pulled a Spike. It was like, oh, no, he's going to kill her. Oh, well. And just
That's what I
away.
thought was going to happen.
I would have loved that, just like another callback to that. But no, it's just like, whatever. Yeah. Right?
So there's kind of like a fade out, fade to black moment after that. So we don't know what goes on with Faith. And then we go fade back up, and Buffy's in the library with Giles, and she's telling Giles about what happened. She's like, Faith saved me. I think we can turn her around. I think she's still got some good left in her. With this, I'm not giving up on her. And Giles is like, okay. And then we go to the mayor's office, and the mayor is packing up, and he's like, man, this sucks. All my right-hand men are dying. I mean, I'm not sure if he knows that.
He doesn't.
Oh, no, he doesn't. He doesn't know.
He's just packing up the office.
He's just packing up. He goes to leave. He opens the door, and who's standing there but Faith? And Faith goes, so you sent your boy to try and kill me? And the mayor goes, and the fact that you're standing here right now means that he was unsuccessful, doesn't it? And Faith is like, yup. And I was like, oh shit, where's this going?
I know. I was like, he's invincible. I can't wait.
Yeah, I thought. So I was like, Faith is obviously going to attack the mayor, and he's going to become invincible, and he's going to kill her. And that's the end of Faith. That would have been a good write-off for Faith, I feel like.
No, Faith has to die in front of people. You can't have her die off screen. They would never find her body.
I thought that could have been
Main characters have to die in a way that everyone knows that they're dead.
So instead of my way of thinking of what's going to happen, she goes, so you sent your boy to kill me? And Mayor's like, yep, I guess you standing here means that he was unsuccessful. And then Faith goes, yup. So I guess that means you have a job opening. And the mayor's like, interesting. Come into my office. Faith walks into the office. He closes the door. Roll credits. And I was like, there were so many turns in this episode.
Dude, these episodes are great with like just having weird twists.
Yes.
Like I did not expect her to try to kill Xander.
No.
The Watchers are just dumb.
Dude,
I don't know if the Watchers or vampires are dumber. I just really can't figure out which ones. Like,
I mean, it makes sense why there's still vampires, because these Watchers are so ineffective.
It's like the war on drugs. It's just not going to end, and both sides are just making mistakes and messing up, and like somehow it just keeps going.
But that is the episode, so I am excited to see where this goes.
I have thoughts. Okay. I have two thoughts. I do like that we know that he's invincible now, so like she can't just really like fully just like betray him because he has extra powers. But my thought is this: there's one, Faith is doing this to go undercover to find out what the mayor's actually up to, and this is her way to redeem herself.
Oh, okay.
If the show wants a redeemable thing, right?
I like that. That's a fun idea.
Or it's just the setup to start the Angel season next series, and it's like Angel hunting down Faith in a new city.
I don't know. And here's the thing, like, so a lot of people want us to do Boys Watching Angel.
And they also want us to finish Buffy.
Exactly. The thing is, and I think I brought this up to somebody, I forget who, but Angel is still in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So we can't, even if we were to start doing that or do like some kind of Patreon only thing, which we've heard you guys want, we've heard it loud and clear, you'd like that. Angel's still in this show, so we can't really start watching that until he's out of this show. You know what I mean? So
and
we're
even
at
then,
kind
there's
of
still some crossovers, I think, of characters and stuff.
Yeah,
because I think Cordelia's in that show.
Yeah, and I wonder, like, are there crossover events between Buffy and Angel where Angel will be ahead of time instead of Buffy, and like, maybe season 2 of Angel doesn't line up exactly correctly with season 5 of Buffy or something. So we could be in the land of spoilers. So that's kind of what has had us a little hesitant about doing
also,
Angel.
it's a long show.
Also, the time commitment as well. So we're trying to figure out a way that we can do it. But as of right now, the point is moot because Angel's still in the show. We can't go ahead and do the Angel series until he's out of this show. You know what I mean?
If we do the Angel series.
If we were to do it. But I am loving these interesting developments.
I do think that this episode is setting up the Angel series, though.
You really do?
Yeah. Because from what we know, I think it starts to happen. Because Angel series happened during Buffy.
Yeah. Like they ran concurrently.
Yes. And I think this is setting up for that.
Okay. I would enjoy it if this is like a inside job operation with Faith, and then like publicly she's like tries to kill the mayor.
Mm-hmm. That's
how they find out that the mayor's invincible.
Wait, you think she would try to kill the mayor in public?
Not in public, but like in front of Buffy and Giles and all of them, and then the mayor kills Faith.
I think she still thinks the mayor's a real person, though. I don't think her killing another human.
That's what I'm saying. I think that she's going to try to get to the bottom of it, find out that he's involved with all this demonic stuff. And then in front of the gang, the Scooby Gang, she backstabs the mayor, she tries to kill him. And then that's how the Scooby Gang finds out that the mayor's invincible. Faith gets killed by the mayor. And then Faith's like, I did it all along for you. I did it for you. And now, was my death in vain? And then they're like, no, you did a good job. We could have never done it without you. Blah, blah, blah.
I know something that you don't know that I can't just because of
IMDb. No.
Yeah.
Okay, well then don't spoil it.
Yeah. Just based off of IMDb. Like, I don't know the actual details of anything, but I don't think that's how it's going to play out.
Okay. Well, speaking of future stuff, I caught a glimpse of the thumbnail for the next episode, and it's very interesting. Did you see the thumbnail?
I saw like a vampire face. It looked like it was Xander and Willow again as vampires or something.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me as well. And the title of the next episode is Doppelgangland.
Oh, well, there we go. There's just going to be the Upside Down that has everybody, but they're all vampires.
Yeah.
I hope this isn't like a really random one-off.
Yeah, because we've been getting a lot of like good series momentum, and then this seems like it would be quite a detour, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's Doppelgangland. And yeah, this has been our episode on Consequences. Any last words for Consequences, Vance?
No, just just gonna go cry in the bathroom.
Well, thank you for listening, everybody. Please remember to rate and review on Apple Podcasts, subscribe and stuff on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at Boys Watching Buffy. If you want to write an email, boyswatchingbuffy@gmail.com. Join the Discord, join the Patreon. The links are in the show notes. And stay tuned next time for when we talk about Doppelgangland.
I'm not getting any older.
Tune into the Salsa Kings Network. Crack one open if you dare, creeps.